Do I need... Modern Hebrew, light brown, 8 inches. That's 8.5, 6, 7. I'm gonna fire up the laser. Can't show you guys my password. Okay. Leather's all set. Software time. Software time. Let me just get this all set up and I'll show you. Okay, so I have the order Tashima bracelet, and it's for 8 inches or so. And I'm trying to get my head wrapped around what I'm doing. I woke up pretty late today. Usually I'm up way earlier. So the first thing I do on every single order is I go, I mean, it doesn't matter if I've done it 100 times or not, but I always do a new file for this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into bracelets, and I'm going to come down to the last one I did, which I don't think that one is the right one, so let's just cruise out. Let's just choose this one. Oh, okay. Let's get rid of that. Let's make sure we have the right size here. Okay, so 1. So this is on 9/10. So this is actually the right size. Perfect. Is it just the 1? So this is 8/6/19. Well, cool, man. I don't have to do anything with it. So let's go ahead and close that down. Do I have 8/6/19 saved? I do not think so. Okay. So now I'll upload it. And now we just wait. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and slap her right there. We're going to be using medium leather. We're going to ignore this layer. I have no idea what it is, but whatever. And I found yesterday that this didn't cut all the way through everything. But this is a much bigger piece of, or flatter piece of leather. I think I'm going to bump the power up to 250. There we go. And let me just zoom in so y'all can see. You can see how the laser is going to cut it. The red line is the cut here, and then the purple is all engraved. So we just hit ready, and then we wait. So while we're waiting, the laser's gonna do a bunch of stuff, and I apparently need to change my battery. Okay, I got the battery changed, so now we're gonna get ready to fire up the laser. But I need to open my garage door, so let me show you all real quick. This is the space I have for my leather shop. It's literally half of a garage. So, but in order for me to vent my Glowforge, I need to open up, oh, here it goes again. There we go. Need to open it up. There's actually a big old vent that comes out the back of it there, and it goes down and it goes outside. So now I got the glowing button, and then we just hit the button. So that's going to run for 7 minutes. Well, right now we got it at 6 minutes and, let me click there, 6 minutes and how many, whatever seconds. So, on to the next project. So when that's done, it's just going to sit there because I'm going to work on another project, which is nothing but sewing. So, but I'm making it's actually my very first one. Never made one before. And watch band for my wife for her Apple Watch. So everything's hand done over here. So we got a purple line here. Let me turn this around because I can't even see if you guys can see what I'm seeing. There we go. We have a purple lining. We've got some shiny blue leather here. Well, it's veg tan, but I made it shiny. But it says Psalm 119 on there. So I have to finish sewing this, the other side up. Now the reason that this is so long, apparently she wants it to like wrap around her wrist several times. It won't do it on mine because I'm gigantic. So she's got little wrists, little 7-inch wrists. So, but anyway, I gotta finish sewing up this side. She was like, "Why is it crooked?" I'm all, it's not. It's just the way that the, you know, I sewed on when I did this side yesterday. It was, you know, I pull the thread really, really tight. So, on to sewing. Alright, I'm almost done sewing this one up. I just didn't want you guys to have to sit here for 20 minutes watching me sew it. Now, some of my leather worker friends out there, if you're wondering why I'm not sewing it on a stitching pony and I'm not 2 needles, and just honestly, I don't feel like pulling the pony out right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie this up and then melt it down, and then try to get rid of the wax again, because I want to put one more layer of acrylic paint on there with some chameleon pigment in it. Try to make it more pretty for the wife. So I'm going to just cut those real short. Now I'm going to be honest with you, this is not a real busy day for me. I have the one order to come in, and Yom Kippur starts tonight, and I'm just going to take it easy. What did I do with my lighter? Some of you may have seen this on Instagram. I will be rebuilding a different kind of cover for this, because I don't really like this one. If I set it down, of course, the one time I set it down, it stays upright. But the second, oh man, even when I hit. Oh well. Anyway, normally it just kind of falls over. So, of course, when you're on camera, you know, you look like an idiot. So here, let me just go ahead and burn this all up here. If I can get it right. I'll melt that down. So all along here, I need to stretch this out. So there's a whole layer of wax on here because I can feel how sticky it is, and it's from this thread, and you can see how like sticky it is. Listen, see, it's just wax thread that seals the thread, which is a good thing. So I'm just gonna, let's see if I can get it to stand up at the flame. Oh, can't do it. So I'm gonna just kind of do this. Plus there's some little globular areas on there I'm just gonna get rid of. And then I can wipe it all down. Come on. Uh-oh, I might be running out of juice in my Zippo. Alright. Let me just grab a rag now. Just try to wipe most of it off. So, I'm currently, as I'm working, I always have something playing on YouTube. I always start my days off with The Cutting Edge from Nice TV, and so I'm watching that right now with Mr. John Hall. Here, and real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and mark a bunch of holes on here. Is that gonna be here? And there we go. So there should be enough of a bunch of holes here for the wife to figure out where she wants it. So let me go ahead and get a punching block. Let me grab, oh, it's already out. Where is it at? There she blows. Now I marked a bunch of holes on here, and it might seem excessive, but I just want it to fit for her. And she does know I'm doing this for her, by the way. So it's not like it's a surprise or anything, but trying to get my wife for a minute to use her as my model or any of that sort of stuff is kind of difficult because she's really busy. She's a school teacher. My daughter goes to the same school that she teaches at. Whew, that battery's hot. And my son, I homeschool. So he's in his room right now working on his 4 classes that he's got to do today. And I just remembered, I think I have to build a keeper for her. Alright, so there we go. Let me move this out of the way. Put that back up there. My bench is a mess because I usually don't put my tools away when I'm working on a project. I just kind of let them stay out because I'm going to wind up using them all again. So I'm going to get out my old blue-green color shift. You know, I wonder if you can see that in the camera. I don't, you might be able to see some little sparkles, but I'm just gonna, uh-oh, I didn't clean that brush good enough and I just bought it. Let me get some of that water in there. Here we go. That's why I normally use water-based stains, paints, because that way if I need to clean something I can just do it with a little bit of water. Now I'm just trying to make sure I get all the water out so it doesn't mess around with the pigments. And usually I'll have enough in my little cap. And I'm just going to brush some more on there. So this pigment, it's a product called Solar Color Dust, and when the dust, it really means dust because it's the finest. It's like talcum powder. You know, and you just mix it with your leather stain or your acrylic leather paint, which I use. Here, let me pull it out so you can see it. I just use the Angelus kind. But then I reduce it down with too thin. So, and sometimes when I put it through my like spray gun or my airbrush, I put a lot of that too thin in there because the acrylic paint's pretty thick stuff. There's no, I mean, for me there's no like real set way I apply this stuff. Just kind of get it on there, brush it a couple different directions. As it starts to get like tacky, like down here we're already done, I just kind of start, you know, almost like you're dry brushing, and then voila, makes it nice and shiny again, and hopefully she likes it. Now I did, this stuff looks kind of milky on there. It'll dry clear. The leather paint that I use, this Angelus stuff, is a, what is it? Well, it's neutral, but it winds up drying clear. So yeah, there we go. So there's like some little vine engraving on there. I just did this on the laser. Now, you know, I know, especially this episode, there's going to be a lot of laser stuff on here. But, you know, honestly, I do a lot of the traditional, like, I still tool a lot. But I also have machines that, you know, help me out. Because if I didn't have these machines, I wouldn't be getting anything done. 7-Up, folks. I know it's not good for me, but I love it. And let's see. And it seems like everything these days are going to kill us. It's like bacon, man. The one thing I did switch, and you know, I never really liked pork bacon in the first place, so I switched to the turkey bacon. And the pork bacon would always make me feel like here, let me turn this up there. The pork bacon would always make me feel kind of like, you know, phlegmy, you know, and kind of, I don't know, and just not good. And I wouldn't feel good the rest of the day. I would just have some like weird, I don't know, there would be times where like I didn't feel like I could, like I was getting sick or something. So, but I did move, or I did switch to the turkey bacon, and that seemed to make a pretty big difference. To me, it pretty much tastes the same anyway. But I'm not any kind of food connoisseur. But I am a creature of habit, and you know, I like the stuff that I like, and I don't like what I don't like. Now, I've had some friends of mine tell me I should try beef bacon, and that it's like out of this world. You know, I've been to like 4 stores around here, and I haven't been able to find any of them. So, if y'all know where I can get some in California, like one of the major chains out here, please let me know. Just leave a comment below. I forgot, by the way, I needed to do the other side. So I'm just going to put those over there. Alright, now I got to re-clean the brush again. But yeah, the turkey bacon's pretty good, and I use the organic stuff. You know, I often though wonder how turkey bacon is made, because I'm sure we've all eaten turkey, and it doesn't seem like it would be a meat that would cut, that, you know, that you would get a slice of bacon out. They must grind it up and flatten it down or something. Alright, that's clean enough for me. So, I'm just going to leave the camera going here from this angle. I'm going to grab the Shima bracelet out of the laser. I'm going to grab the stain. Yeah, so give me one quick second. Alright, let me put the paperwork over here. Put that up there. Stain. Hey, you guys see this t-shirt? It's kind of cool. I want to show it to you. So, I used to coach kids on how to become like rock stars. And, well, Josh, how did you do that? Well, I've been a musician for a really long time, and I play several instruments, and I've been in several bands, and anyway, so my main instrument is guitar. I'm teaching myself the Irish tenpenny flute thing, or it's called the Irish whistle. And so I'm teaching myself that in the mandolin. My mom bought me a mandolin for my birthday this year. So anyway, this t-shirt was one of my students. He wound up becoming like kind of a rock star. I mean, and this was his first like big band. I have other students that have done really well for themselves, opened up for a lot of pretty big name players. And okay, let's see, what am I looking for here? Oh, I need to pull this out. Okay, so you see on the back here, the laser didn't quite pull it off, but it seems like it's coming off pretty easy. So scrap. And see, folks, this is why you put your tools away when you're done using them, so you can find what you're looking for. This is garbage. Oh, there we are. Now, just punch out the holes for the snaps. So pretty easy. There's a bit of scorching on there. This is how it always comes out. Now if I turn down the power on the engraving, I probably wouldn't get that scorching on there, but I also probably wouldn't get as deep of engraving as I like. So I deal with the scorching. Let me put the camera down. The best way to do that, for me anyway, actually it really doesn't matter. The lighter colors, a little bit of water, wipe it down, you're good to go. With the light brown, doesn't make any difference because it's brown already. So I'm going to just use an old pad I got here, which I don't know why, but Tandy has kind of stopped selling these, which is very irritating. I've been using sponges lately and they don't work as well. So I'm going to stain the back and the front. On the back I use a lot of stain so it soaks in deep into the leather. But as I'm brushing the leather, as I'm applying the stain onto the leather, it's actually burnishing the back because this pad's pretty rough anyway. And you'll see that when I start applying the stain to the front. But so yeah, I'll just rub it in there and you can start kind of seeing some swirlies. But you'll also see, I don't know if you can see that, some marking right here. That's just the characteristic of the leather. I can't do anything about that. And it doesn't really show up when you're looking at the nude areas. So it's just the animal, the skin. Sometimes you get little bug bites that don't really show up. Other times you get leather that certain areas don't stain correctly, and you're like, well, how the heck, what's going on here? I found out apparently, just like with any product, some of the products the manufacturers make, some of the leather they make, they'll have blemishes and they'll try to hide those blemishes with like leather dust and glue, which is weird, but the glue doesn't stain at all, especially with water stain. Multiple applications of oil stain you might be able to penetrate it, but usually what I have to do is I have to put a resist on it, or let everything dry, put a resist on it, apply it again, put another layer of resist on it, and it just becomes a kind of a pain in the butt. But anyway, here, let me show you. Now you don't see any scorching. It's just, I don't even know if that's in focus, but no scorching, and there's hardly any stain on here. So now I'm going to go ahead and put a little on the sides, mostly just if there's any weird flaws, sorry, where it ripped the leather a little bit, but also to knock down any fibers. Now I learned a trick day before yesterday from an old leathersmith. His name's some of you might recognize him, but Bruce Cheney. I think that's his last name. He's got his own YouTube channel. Anyway, he was using like a paper bag to burnish the edges of his leather. And even though these are, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that because my shirt's black, but here, let me get it in the white area. I mean, this is pretty burnished, but you know, I tried it yesterday on a couple pieces of leather where you just take this leather's too thin for it, but you just take your paper bag and it becomes really slick. Here, I have the other piece here where you can see that I burnished with just a paper bag, and it actually came out really well. This is just water and a paper bag, and then he said if you did try it on the skin side of the leather, you almost start to get that worn look, and he was right. I mean, you do. I even tried tooling just a little something, and then I didn't do it deep enough, but I still went over it with the paper bag, and it has a really kind of a cool effect. So, something else to add to my wheelhouse there, add to my tool bag. So since this one, the edges are pretty burnished anyway, I'm still going to go ahead and take the smallest groove on my slicker here, which you can, I just use this wooden one from Tandy. I'm just filling along. If there are any fibers, I'm not going to bevel this. This is, I think, 3-4 ounce leather here. Just knock down any tiny little fibers that may still be there. And I usually only do any edging with like edge paint or edge coat on thicker bracelets, ones that are lined and sewn, that sort of thing. So these ones, I mean, I kind of like it. It's already got a dark edge. There's no fibers knocked up or built up on it, so I just leave it the way it is. It's already sealed. I mean, it's literally cauterized by the laser. So now I'm just going to take my horse brush and I'm just going to buff that down. So I get a nice little shine on it. And you should do this anyway. After you stain it out, you know, I hope you, those who have been paying attention that work with leather, have probably noticed I haven't put any resist on it yet, so, which is cool. But you can still get that shine. Now I'm going to try something with this. I'm going to just try rubbing that in, see if I can get it even shinier with just a paper bag. So I'm burnishing the skin side. I think I'm going to have to probably restain the flesh side on the other side because I'm pushing this right into my cutting mat and it might lift the fibers up on the back. Yeah, it's stuck. Oh, it didn't lift any fibers up. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to tell on the camera, but that's, oh yeah, you can kind of see it. That's really shiny. That's not with any kind of sheen on there, like satin sheen or glossy sheen. But speaking of sheen, let me get out my sponge for my sheen. And it's just an old cut up sponge. I like to put my resist in here, but this is the Fiebing's Pro Resist. Works a lot better than some of the other products that I used that are just liquid sheens like this. I'm not talking about any balms or waxes or anything like that. And I just shake it until it's all on there, and I always start with the back side because that's going to take us the most to get it all in there. So this is also what protects your skin when you're wearing it from, you know, if you sweat a lot from your wrist turning brown, because the water-based stain is being activated again by the water and the salt from your sweat. So kind of waterproofs it in a way. And up here I'm just gonna put the rest of it on. No certain kind of pattern. They tell you should do it in circles. You know, on bigger projects, yeah, I mean, you do kind of want to do circles, but after I get most of it on there and I get the sheen put away, I've knocked this bottle over so many times, and even the big bottles. So that's one reason why I put it in these bottles. But I have to put the lid on there right away, because otherwise I'll probably wind up knocking it over. But I'll just take my brush again, knock down any ridges so there's a nice even finish on there. And there's going to be some residual sheen left on the sponge, and I'll go back and I'll hit it again. You can see how fast this is going even with me talking to you guys. And then I'll do kind of like just a random brush. And I can tell, just because the way I have the lighting set up for me, that every inch of this, every centimeter is wet right now, so I didn't take any of it off, but yeah, there you go. All I got to do now is add some snaps, and that's what I'm going to do next. But I got to let this dry, and so I'm just going to kind of sit here and twiddle my thumbs until it does. Oh, you know what we should do? Here, have a look. I wonder if you can see the glow on that. This paint dries pretty darn fast, so it's nice and shiny. Hopefully on the camera I can't really tell on this little tiny screen, but I'll upload this video in 4K, and you can see that it hopefully you can see that it changes colors a little bit. It goes from a green to a blue. So the base color of this thing is turquoise, so you know, normally on the lighter colors the color shift doesn't show up so well, but on the darker colors like a black or a brown or even a purple, like an overstained purple where it gets like really dark, same thing with like navy blue, or even just regular blue, and green. I don't need to sit here and name all the colors, but these pigments that I put on top of them, they really pop. So if you haven't yet, visit my Instagram channel, or not channel but page, and you can see all the the items I've made that already have it on there, that have some better lighting too, and you can actually see the shifting part of it. It's really cool. And if you haven't, you should check out Solar Color Dust. I think it's just solarcolordust.com. And some of the pigments they have there, they have all kinds of stuff, things that'll change color if you dump cold water on it, and all kinds of nifty stuff. So give me a second while this dries, and I'm gonna get some other stuff prepared here. Alright, I need a bigger shop. I don't have room for anything out here. So I'm going to put on 2 of these, 2 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of those. Let me just set these over here. Put this, actually I'm going to leave that out in case one of them fail. I don't know how well you can see that, but look how nice and shiny that is. I'm going to give it a quick buff. Now that is shiny. Okay, let me put that over there too. Alright, first thing I like to do is go ahead and just pop everything in the holes that's supposed to be in the holes. Now, let's see. I think we've got that one set up first. So we'll do that one first. I'm just setting my dies. Came out nice and pretty. So now, I need to switch out my dies. All right. So these are the ones that usually fail. So I got to be really, make sure I get them nice and tight down on the bottom there. And they seem tight. Here, let's turn this way a little bit. And let's test it. Yep, fits good there. Fits good there. Perfect. So, let me zoom back out so y'all can see what's happening here, and maybe see my face a little bit. Not that you need to see that, but it's my little shipping area. There's not much to it, it's just one little black shelf. And so I just come over here, grab an envelope, go back to the other side. Look at that, the other side. Okay, so there's that, the bracelet. Now, what I do for all y'all that order from me, so I take the order slip, and I come over here, and I grab something. I have this whole stack of stuff here. Some places charge you for this kind of stuff. I'm not going to charge you for it. But a brother of mine, his name is Mr. Isaac, has a company. I'll show you his card. It's Head Honcho. He makes my hats and my stickers and my shirts and stuff for me. Good dude, man. And he's pretty timely too. So I like to give you one of those. One of my nice business cards. I spent a lot of money on those. And just fold it up. And so it doesn't get lost, or you don't see it in the package. I staple it to the invoice. Just like so. And then I just slip it all in the envelope. And then I seal her up. Nothing to it. Alright, so now it's time for shipping. I'm going to go ahead and shut everything down out here, and I'll see you in there. Wasn't that fun and dandy? So now I'm just gonna go out here and well, you can tell winter's coming. Some of the herbs and the plants aren't staying, but we have some other ones that are doing just fine. There we go. Like I said, today's not such a busy day, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this done here. Then I'll probably have some lunch. Anywho, that's it. I mean, all of my super important stuff today is pretty much done. And now I'm gonna chill out and hang out with my son. Like I said, eat some food. Watch a movie, read my Bible, and wait for my wife to come home. Alright, thanks for watching, man. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my Instagram and all that stuff, and all that stuff should be in the description below. Thanks, man. Bye.